Colin Moriarty has been clipped out of context by games journos to make him say something that he never said, or at least cut out the fact that he was just guessing or making opinions on his thoughts for Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. And he had articles written about him, and there were Reddit threads about him and everything going on about what he said. It originally started from Insider Gaming, who said Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, reportedly releasing in 2026. And as you can see, they got community noted here saying Colin, the source, did not report this. He speculated on a podcast. It was his opinion that the game may release in 2026. Claiming this is reported is factually incorrect, according to their own source. Colin Moriarty, I am the quote-unquote source of this, based on opinions I expressed on another person's podcast when asked what I thought about the game and its potential timeline. If you listen to the clip they're citing, I literally say, that's my opinion at 1 hour, 10 minutes, 2 seconds. And it's otherwise blatantly obvious I'm speculating. I think. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, really? Reporting that conversation as anything else is wildly disingenuous. I don't know why outlets do this to me and many others all the time. But one thing is certain. I'm in for a lot of abuse for no reason now. Much appreciated. And yeah, he's getting a lot of people hammering him on Reddit, being like, oh, he doesn't know anything. Bullshit. His sources are fake and this, that, and the other thing. Where it's like, because people are reading the article from Insider Gaming and running with as fact. And it's not just Insider Gaming. Other outlets like Twisted Voxel took it and ran with it, along with others as well. They've since updated as well. Colin Moriarty clarified that we were totally wrong. The original source here, Insider Gaming, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, reportedly releasing in 2026. The reason why I want to call attention to this and why I feel like it's so important to talk about is these are the same journals and outlets that try so hard to rank on and make fun of YouTubers for not getting their sources right, for not being trustworthy, for running with just any rumors as truth and fact and putting it out there. If it was one outlet that did it, I'd be like, okay, that's a rogue employee at a rogue outlet running with one story. But I've talked about this many times before. It's never just a lone person. They put an article out there and everyone spreads like wildfire. All the outlets, all just copy paste. I've said this months ago too. I wouldn't even be surprised if they just copy paste the article into ChatGPT and say, write this a different way for me. And then publish that and be like, and say source from this original Insider Gaming in this case. I feel like that's what quote unquote professional games journalism has turned into in 2025 going into 2026. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. It's exactly why they keep getting laid off. It's not the chuds. It's not the YouTubers that are taking your lunch money. No, it's you. It's you not being accountable for what you're doing. This is a insane take and an insane story. They updated it finally saying, update, after this article was published, several insiders debunked the 2026 report. Furthermore, Colin Moriarty stated that his words were taken out of context and were speculation on his end. Our link to the news story can be found here. Where's your apology, bro? Holy shit. You just threw a dude under the bus, unnecessary criticism, throwing his credibility into question, which I don't, I'm not the biggest fan of Colin, but I'm going to fight for people when shit's done wrong to them. I don't care if I like you or not. Like, this is one of those, you don't do this to people. This is fucked what happened to him. And this is the clip right here in context. You guys tell me. You tell me if it sounds like he is absolutely saying this is for sure from an insider and that they wrote an article from this.
So I think we just have to see. I think we'll see. I believe we'll see it at the Game Awards.
My personal opinion, I believe we'll see it at the Game Awards. That's nothing definitive there. There's no source outside of himself. What?
Is she?
And yeah, I think so.
Oh, don't get me hyped, man. Shit.
And,
really? And you reckon it'll come out next year or 27?
That's my theory.
I think next year it'll be good to go. But
I think next year. it will be good to go. I would have thought that too. I mean, what the hell?
Maybe they will delay it, but yeah,
maybe they'll delay it. What even is the story that they wrote? How do you do this?
I mean, based on the way they're hiring and also things I'm hearing about, people interacting with the game, but also they're hiring for like localization now and all that. It's like they're getting into the end. Yeah.
Oh wow. That's a good sign. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great sign. It's a sign that everything's kind of locked down.
Yeah. Again, prefaced it with this is his opinion based off of what's transpiring. How the hell did you get this as an article as he said it's happening?
And content complete. So I'm sure there's a lot of work to be done. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was out this time next year. No, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think
when did Naughty Dog usually release their games?
The Last of Us was June. The Last of Us Part 2 was
okay. So they're talking about other games now, but he's saying basically the same mindset that I had before any of this gets clarified, which we'll get into in just a second. But I'm like, yeah, I figured that this game's going to be coming out around this time next year. Based off of the timeline of when they announced it, when they started working on it, and everything that happened with this game. Started development in what? 2021? 2020? It's been in development for 5 years now. Next year is going to be 6 years. AAA title. They showed off a trailer for it. Looks like it's, potentially far enough along for them to showcase. Not much gameplay, if any, in it, but at least they're showcasing what they're at right now. I don't think it's a ridiculous guess to say this, but they still ran with it anyways. He clarified it and was like, this is bullshit. What happened? Then we have the updates happening now. Grums, very curious. This was supposed to launch next year, but now Intergalactic is quote unquote years away, plural, meaning the soonest we're going to see this game even release is 2027 at the absolute soonest, but it could go even into 2028 or 2029, 2030 type thing. And before I go anywhere with this, I want to be crystal clear with why I think that might happen. The game could be feature complete. It could be completely done. And Naughty Dog, and more importantly, Sony, looking at the situation saying, yeah, the environment out there is not really friendly to the DEI push that this game has in it. We're going to need to kick this can down the road and just not have a definitive timeline on it until the coast is clear to drop something like this, because they understand it's a pendulum swing. And how society works is right now the chuds are winning. And you don't know, a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, that could completely shift. The dynamic could go right back to the lunatics being in charge, running the asylum. And this would be front page, the greatest game ever for them. Potentially. Maybe that's the way Sony of Japan's looking at the situation. Potentially. The other way you could look at the situation is the game is potentially close to being complete, but Sony and Naughty Dog are out there. Probably not Naughty Dog because they're snuffing their own farts, but Sony's looking at the environment being like, yeah, we cannot go live with this game. The themes in the game, what it's pushing, the girl boss story, all the shaving her hair and all this, we can't do this. We need to go back to the drawing board, pull a Nintendo, get Retro Studios in here and revamp, scrap this and start it again and do it different. Because this, at the conception phase of the game, it is a no-go. We can't keep going with it. But either one of those reasons is why this game is not coming out next year. Because if it had nothing to do with money, this game might be ready to go by March of next year, if not sooner than that. But I think there's a lot more on the line right now than those things. IGN, Naughty Dog's Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, is reportedly still years away from launch. And this is the article, still years away from release, and don't expect to see it at the Game Awards. This is the absolute worst generation. Now, I want you to be really crystal clear on how these are word wizards. They try to manipulate your mindset with what you read. I saw this earlier, and I was like, this is the absolute worst generation in quotes. Do you know where they got that quote from? Some random offhanded comment from a no-name Twitter account. talk about pushing a narrative with a quote that literally comes from a nobody just to push a narrative. Anyways, despite being revealed at last year's Game Awards, Naughty Dog's upcoming Intergalactic Heretic Prophet is reportedly still years away from launch. Fans of Uncharted and Last of Us Studio should also not expect another glimpse of the project at next month's annual Video Games Awards ceremony, it was claimed. Discussion, and by the way, I bet, again, this is just speculation, just like Colin Moriarty. I wouldn't be surprised if they had an updated trailer that they were ready to go live with and pay the Game Awards to show off, to hype up again. And they're like, yeah, the first one was not well received at all. It's not a good idea to double down on this right now. Let's take our foot off the gas with it. Let's see what else we can do. Naughty Dog, by the way, to their discredit, have done jack shit over the past 5 years. I mean, what have they even done besides re-release, remake, re-release, and remake? Like, what is Naughty Dog even doing? And now they have this game that's like, bro, holy shit, how much money has gone into the studio? All from the success of The Last of Us. Last of Us 2 tanked the brand. And now they're doing this, tanking Naughty Dog. Allegedly, one could say. Discussion around when to expect Intergalactic was recently sparked by journalist Colin Moriarty, who suggested he thought it was possible for the game to launch in 2026. After various sites picked up on the comment as confirmation, Moriarty issued a clarification saying he'd just been speculating, though by then, the topic had snowballed. In March this year, a conversation with 28 years later director Alex Garland, Naughty Dog's Neil Druckmann said the developers still had a ways to go on the project, which I covered that in a previous video. That was an awkward interview, to say the least. During the same month, Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier stated the game would not launch in 2026, and neither would The Witcher 4 either. My goodness. I almost wonder, too, this is tinfoil hat territory, but if these game studios are looking at Grand Theft Auto 6 being like, yeah, we're just 2026 is a lost year. We're just pushing everything to 2027 or beyond because of GTA 6. This month, Schreier has now repeated the statement, once again placing Intergalactic's arrival as 2027 at the earliest and potentially skipping the PS5 generation altogether. Meanwhile, Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb, the dude that stole my story, that guy, you're going to use him as a source? Wonder where he got this information from. Has claimed that the game won't be making a second appearance in trailer from the Game Awards this year. Is this a surprise? Not really. PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox have a habit of teasing blockbuster titles a long time before they're ready for most people to play them. I don't know, to be honest, that's kind of unfair to Nintendo. Metroid Prime 4 is really the only example. And Nintendo themselves admitted that that was a huge mistake. So I wouldn't throw them into this. If you can give me more examples, I'd be like, okay. But no, Nintendo usually does a good job of hiding stuff until it's pretty much ready to be coming out. And in an interview in May, Druckmann confirmed Naughty Dog was also working on a second game, which he said was acting as more of a producer and mentor on. Oh, maybe that game has a chance then. Perhaps this game will be announced and launched first. Could you imagine? Wouldn't that speak volumes? That would basically tell everyone that this game is a complete shit show, that they had to go back to the drawing board and start over from scratch. And I would argue it's Naughty Dog wanting to avoid like a Ghost of Yotei problem. They've seen Ubisoft collapse around the criticism and Sony taking massive hits with Concord. And I mean, not really a hit with Ghost of Yotei, but not making as much as they thought it would. And the general public is just rejecting these rushed DEI first narrative games overall to begin with. And if that's the case, then I think, just looking at the trailer, Intergalactic has super strong ideological themes, a lot of identity narratives in the writing, and clear political messaging. You have to be a complete moron to not notice those things just from watching that trailer. So right now, the most likely reason is they're undergoing, and this is going to sound wild to say, but I think they're undergoing a reboot internally. And I don't think it's like a minor one. I think it's a major internal reboot due to a combination of Sony and Naughty Dog rethinking the project is a problem after they canceled The Last of Us Online. It's the same thing we saw with BioWare's Anthem, Dragon Age, The Veilguard, when that was Dreadwolf, 343 with Halo, Blizzard repeatedly restarting Titan. I mean, these studios do these reboots all the time. Nintendo with Metroid Prime 4. I feel like this is one of those situations where this game is going to be taking a reality pill and realizing that what they tried to put out there is being wholeheartedly rejected by the gaming community. That there will be people, no matter what, that buy the slop and try to push it. I would almost argue that Ghost of Yotei proved this is not going to be a successful formula. If Ghost of Yotei worked, this game would be coming out in 2026. I firmly believe that. But because it didn't, they're like, shit, we can't, this narrative doesn't work anymore. We can't do it. And it is a career suicide for our studio if we move forward with what this game is right now. So I'll be very curious to see what happens. And if there's a dynamic or massive shift in the next trailer that we see with this game. I don't know. That would be wild if they scrap this altogether and go with a different kind of intro. I don't know if it's going to be that jarring, but I do think there'll be hits. There'll be subtle things to be like, oh, okay, it's not as woke, but there's still going to be woke elements no matter what with it. I do wonder. A part of me feels like no matter what, this project is fucked from Jump Street because of the direction they decided to go with it. But time will tell. We'll be watching. And for now, I'll leave that there.